Hey everyone, this is Send It Show, episode 8. Today we're going to be talking about gun safety, and we got Sean, the co-host here. I don't think he needs. You need an introduction? You want to introduce yourself again?
No, not anymore.
I think he's been introduced enough. You guys should all know him. Today we're going to talk, like I said, gun safety, and we're starting with a story out of, well, technically it's out of Indiana, but it's from essentially a suburb of Chicago. It's like right on the border.
State line.
Yeah, it's like right on the state line between Chicago and Illinois
South.
and Indiana.
Yeah, south
And
side
it's,
Chicago.
Yeah, like southeast corner.
Yeah.
Like out the south side of Chicago. And what happened was a 13-year-old boy was out in the backyard, or they were in an alleyway playing basketball. And all of a sudden this kid just drops, and his family calls the paramedics. They think he's having a seizure. They didn't even know he was shot. When he got to the hospital, they realized it was actually, he got hit in the head with a falling bullet. And it took him, like a few days to die? It was July 1st he got shot, right?
Died on the 7th.
Died on the 7th. Yeah. And it's kind of, I guess, it leads up to a couple things with gun safety for us. And it'll lead, I think, in a bit of next episode as well with just crime statistics and safety in general.
Yeah.
What was a little alarming to both of us was that when you're reading this article, the police department for this town says that it's a common occurrence for people to fire their guns in the air to celebrate the 4th of July.
Yeah, they're trying to tell people to not use their guns as fireworks and to just strictly stick to fireworks instead of guns.
Right.
Which is very disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, is it common, where you guys are from, is it common for people to shoot guns into the air to celebrate things? I mean, I know it was in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Oh yeah, sure.
But not once have I ever heard it being like commonplace in the United States. So, yeah, that's what I want to know is how many people are shooting into the air to celebrate things, so they have to put out a warning.
Yeah, the police department has to put out a warning.
Right, which
to stop shooting guns into the air.
Which that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's scary.
So I guess that takes us into safety.
Thank you.
Don't shoot your gun in the air, right? And the way we're going to kind of handle this is we're going to start there, and then we're just going to kind of branch out into, you've got the 4 rules.
Yeah.
We'll go into the 4 rules, and then we'll kind of go into some like range safety type things. So, do you want to take it off into the 4 rules?
Yeah.
So, first off, don't ever shoot your gun into the air. Know where you're shooting, right?
Yeah, it's always a bad idea.
Freaking horrible idea.
4 rules. All guns are always loaded. You know, it's a pretty well-known one.
Right.
Everybody talks about that. Always treat your gun as it's loaded, because then you'll always be safe with it. You shouldn't be pointing it at people.
Right.
Never point the gun at anything you are not willing to destroy, which covers always treat the gun as it's loaded.
Right.
Keep your finger off the trigger, or keep your booger hook off the bang switch, right?
I like that one. Keep your booger hook off the bang switch.
Yeah. Keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on target.
Right.
You're ready to pull the trigger. It's the only reason your finger should be on the trigger. And then be sure of your target and what is beyond with it.
And that's where this one falls.
Yeah. Don't shoot your gun straight up into the air, because you don't know where that bullet's going. We read earlier a .223 round can cover over, or just about 2.5 miles.
Right.
If you shoot that in a 45-degree angle.
Right.
So think about 2.5 miles in whatever direction, and it's a ways.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of the radius of that is insane.
Yeah.
So you've got the 4 rules, right? Which I think most gun people are familiar with. I mean, it really depends on who's teaching you, right? But that's like what my dad taught me when I first started, right? Those are very basic. And then after that, you get into some more advanced stuff. Yeah. And a couple of the items I'd like to cover are, like in the Army, right? Don't flag your buddy. Mm-hmm. Meaning, even if you're not intending to shoot and you think this thing is unloaded and you're just walking around with it, make sure you're not pointing it at anything that you're not willing to destroy, basically, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk, and I guess that goes hand in hand with like range safety, right?
Yeah.
So you always keep your gun pointed downrange. You always keep it at the level of the berm or below, right? So not at any given point, your gun should never be, and this is if it's an outdoor range, your gun should never be pointed above the berm, so it can exit the
Because then you
range.
got 2.5 miles of travel. The bullets
Exactly.
going.
And you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess the only time
And
that would
your
be
180 also,
right.
which is keep barrel down range. Yeah.
Yeah, keep your barrel down range. And the other thing for me, you know, it's just common practice is keep it unloaded until you're ready to shoot too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're in a dangerous situation where you should be loaded and ready to go.
Can still carry.
Yeah. But I mean, like if you're at the range or you're just, you know, shooting out somewhere with friends, only load it up when you're ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't even put the magazine in until I'm ready to go, just so I know this thing is clear, because I don't ever want to be guilty of shooting someone that I know or love, right?
And it's embarrassing. I mean, I've never had an accidental discharge or anything like that, but I've been around when it's happened.
Yeah.
And that person is very embarrassed because, yeah, it's not a laughing matter. You know, it's not a funny joke when somebody accidentally shoots a gun off.
It's kind of a laughing matter after it happens, and like
when
everyone's
everybody's
okay. Like after it happens, and everyone's like, okay, we're okay, and then it's like, you are a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Don't do that again.
Never do that again.
Give me your gun right now.
Where was it? I saw this video on Instagram. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's this guy. He's in an indoor range and he's training these people on how to shoot a pistol, right? And I don't know what, I can't remember exactly what he's trying to say, but he's trying to tell them about like how sensitive the trigger is. And he's like talking to them, like looking away, and the rifle, he keeps the pistol pointed down range, so that's okay. But it goes off without him even thinking about it.
He's got that big ass revolver.
Yeah, and he goes boom,
Yeah.
and you can totally tell it catches him off guard.
Yeah.
And he tries to recover, like, oh yeah, I meant to do that, but you can tell he didn't. And that's kind of like the violation of safety rules, right? So he did a couple good things. He never pointed at anything he didn't want to kill. He kept it downrange. It was oriented in a good direction.
Yeah.
But this thing was loaded, ready to go while he's talking to people.
Training people, yeah.
You should never do. I mean, I guess in a training scenario, there's good points where you do.
You can talk to people, go over the thing, and then walk up, load the firearm,
right,
and go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to teach them, especially if you're teaching them anything to do with the trigger,
yeah,
like
trigger discipline.
Do a dry fire for God's sake, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't remember exactly what he was doing, but that was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another accidental discharge. So worst accidental discharge case I've ever seen. And it's not worse because somebody got injured, but just like worse because this guy was an idiot. We were in Iraq. We're coming back from a convoy, and in the bases at the time, when you'd get to the base, make you stop, and then the people in the trucks would get out and clear their rifles or their pistols into these buckets or these barrels. And this guy goes to clear it, and for some reason, he didn't think to drop his mag. So he shoots it, and it goes off, and then he pulls the bolt to the rear, and it ejects the next round. So he thinks he has now cleared it, but it chambers the next round, and then he shoots it again. He did it like 4 times before someone came up and finally stopped this idiot. And they're like, dude, drop your mag. Yeah. But it kind of goes into the mentality, I think, of it, of like, you know, you can get a little scared when you start to remember or start to forget these things, and then if something happens, people get even more scared, and then they just keep fucking up. Right?
Yeah. Gets you a little stressed and you're all befuddled and you start screwing up even more.
Right. Well, because it's funny. Yeah. I mean, well, other people are laughing at you because they're like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And it's not funny for you.
Yeah, I had a buddy I actually work with. He had a .357 revolver and he was installing some new grips on it, and never thought to check the revolver to make sure it was unloaded.
Yeah.
Put the new grips on, and as he was picking it up, it fired, went through his bedroom wall, through the hallway, and hit his washing machine.
Oh, wow.
While his wife was doing laundry.
Oh.
And it barely missed her leg.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a close call for him. And he told me the whole story. Like, he was embarrassed about it.
Is he still
knew
married?
He messed up. Yeah,
he's still married.
But he knew he messed up, and he knew he kind of had to talk about it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's a good thing to do. But yeah, he said he's very safe now.
Yeah, I think,
his
you know,
wife
that's.
makes sure
Oh, yeah, I think that stuff catches you once, and you're going to be scared enough.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a matter of complacency.
Scared straight.
You know, or like you get into the moment and you forget, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's good practice. And here's another good, gun safety thing: is you always clear it when you get it. No matter how many times this thing's been cleared, if you get the gun, you clear it. Mm-hmm. Just to make sure.
Yeah, go to any gun shop, and they're going to do it every single time with every single gun. And if they don't,
that's bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
Well, it's just good habit, right? I mean, I think it's about, you never know, right? And even if you've seen it cleared 3 times, if you get in the habit of always clearing it, then you're never going to have to remember to clear it the next time you pick it up. And Have you ever been caught where there was a round in the chamber and
Yes.
you didn't think there was? Exactly.
Southtown Gun Expo, actually.
In the gun expo.
Yep. I had a gun sitting out there on display. I was working one of the booths, and a guy picked it up and said, "This is a nice gun."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it is. And chambered it, and a round popped out. I was like,
Oh.
shit.
Yeah, that could have been
man.
bad.
Yeah, yeah, and that was probably the worst thing I have ever done with guns. Because I
Right.
grew up in Wyoming with a grandpa and his 3 brothers, all as sheriffs, all as cops, Salt Lake City PD. And so gun safety up at the cabin was very strict, you know, and I've been raised that way my whole life. So I've never
Right.
been around guns my whole life and never had any issues, and that was definitely the scariest thing I've ever had happen to me.
And
And
that's-
thankfully it was an old vet that picked it up, and he knew what he was doing.
Right.
And when he picked it up, he cleared it. You know,
So he
by
cleared
hand.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And
Yeah, you're lucky he picked it up and cleared it instead of somebody just picking it up
green-
and like, oh, hey, click.
cool gun.
Freaking accidental discharge in a gun expo. That would be horrible.
Yeah, it would have made the news.
Oh, it would have been on the news, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only one time when I've been caught, and again, it was while I was in the Army. And I don't know how I got out of, like, we'd left the range, and I swear to God, I'd cleared this thing. I'm not sure what happened. Because, I mean, they're very methodical about it, right? Like, not only do you clear it, but they take a rod on your, it's, you know, M16s.
Yeah.
So you lock your bolt to the rear, and then they take a rod and they shove it through, and then it pushes the bolt back and then closes it. So like that's how you clear it, right?
Yeah,
there's nothing physically. There cannot be anything in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I got it, but I got back and I went to go start cleaning my weapon, and I pulled the bolt to the rear, and sure enough, a fucking round pops out, and I was like, I got all the way back to the base. Yeah, and we were in our barracks, and I don't know.
And it's an uneasy feeling.
Yeah,
when
no,
it happens.
it made me like really nervous about like, I wouldn't say nervous, but like overly cautious.
Yeah.
With safety after that. Trying to think if there's anything else that we can share on gun safety. I think another good thing on gun safety is maintenance, and the reason why I say that is if you're not maintaining these weapons, they can get unsafe.
Yeah, I've had some issues duck hunting where I've had some guns jam up. And I remember I had the barrel in the mud trying to get it to chamber around. And after, I didn't even think about it. And my fiance, good thing she knows guns, sitting there watching for ducks, and she's like, "Did you check your barrel?" And I'm like, "No." Look at it, and packed full of mud. And that'll blow your barrel straight out.
Yeah,
Obstructed barrels can be pretty dangerous.
That can hurt
especially
you.
the shotgun, yeah.
Yeah, that can hurt you pretty
You got
bad.
150 BBs in there that have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing, like maintenance, right? Not only with that, but making sure the parts are good, making sure you're keeping it clean.
Yeah. Ammunition too.
And checking your ammunition. Yeah.
A lot of gun show. That's I've seen a lot of stuff happen, and it's mostly gun show ammunition.
Well, I think at
Long
gun show
guns
ammunition,
up.
you get a lot of people that reload and then sell it. And you never know who's reloading these things.
Yeah.
You know.
Be anybody.
It could be anyone. You never know if they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So check your ammo if you're getting it from questionable places. I mean, you can check it if you're doing factory loads too, but I've never had a factory load issue. Not that I want to be complacent with safety, but I think that for me that might be overkill considering I've been shooting for like 20 years and never had an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'd ever actually even buy ammunition from either like a known source or if I loaded it myself. Just for that reason alone, just because you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's shrapnel that blows out of those. Sometimes they just blow to pieces.
Yeah.
It
Well, if
can
they
do
didn't,
some serious damage to your hands and your
if they didn't check
face.
the brass, if they seat it improperly, if they forget multitude of things, you can cause issues.
Yeah.
I think we're about time.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to let this lead into a topic next week where we're going to cover some of the crime statistics from the Chicago area, with this kid kind of being involved
next
with
door.
that. Because our sneaking suspicion is that, one, it could have been someone that was shooting their gun into the air for celebration, which I hope none of you ever do. Or two, it could have been involved somehow with the crime in Chicago. So we're going to go over that next week. We'll talk about the statistics. We'll talk about the gun laws that are in place there. And we'll try and just bring some light and some actual data out in the discussion. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers. Cheers.